man. I'm sitting here and I'm sitting here and got a lot on my mind, and it's it is terrifying more than we even know. Because when you look at the controversy within the last few years, one of them is the bullshit with BLM and Antifa, and they're writing bullshit. That's all crazy and shit. Beyond anything. But we're dealing with bullshit. With this trans Marxist nonsense, race, false, fake racism and shit. It's all nonsense and shit, man. Um, there's a movie coming out within a few weeks, a few days, and it's going to blow this controversial subject. It's going to blow the roof, like literally blow the roof off every major movie theater in the country, and even in your own home. Because you have highly powerful people in the media, Hollywood, politics, the music industry, the movie industry, all over the place, you name it. Law enforcement, military, um, it's getting really fucking bad. And I mean, like, really fucking bad, man. Like, Jim Caviezel and um, Mel Gibson is, like, really doing this movie that's coming out. And I've seen trailers of this movie, and it's intense. I mean, it is really intense because I'm a parent myself, but looking up, my son's an adult. But when he was younger, as a father, I was terrified, man, being a dad, because you got some sick motherfuckers out there just really have this sick and twisted fixation on kids. It is sick. Fucking sick, man, like really sick. Not just mentally, but morally sick. Disgusting, sick crap, man, And, I have a niece and two nephews, and my two nephews is 14 and 13. And as an uncle, I mean, shit, man, anything could happen to them at any time. But especially my niece, she just turned 18. And, shit. Um, and it's at that point that you as parents, we got to have a huge watchful eye on our kids because you got some sick motherfuckers in all walks of life, even in big tech. Big tech, Hollywood, in sports, in law enforcement, in the military, in all kinds of fields, even in the medical field. You could be a doctor and still get involved in this shit. And it is some sick fucking shit, man. Some really serious fucking sick, and that is child sex trafficking. The reason the media won't talk about this because some people in the media has friends in politics as well as in Hollywood, as well as media and big tech and all other shit, And if they say anything, they could lose their job. They could be suicided because they know shit, you know. Because if you know something, you are a liability and a threat to the establishment who are involved in this shit. Because look, I'll be honest with you guys, back in the early '80s, it wasn't. I mean, it was insane because when you start to understand that kids are now being kidnapped and they're being sold into sex slavery, sex trafficking, all this sick fucking shit, man, And I mean, for example, look at Johnny Gosh. He was 12 years old when he got kidnapped from Iowa. He was living in Des Moines, Iowa. Yeah. And his mom, still wondering where he's at, if he's okay, or if he's still alive, and because he was violated in that manner, disgustingly, And there was a documentary in '91. It was called "Conspiracy of Silence," where you have politicians that in Nebraska, as well as other places, that took kids young as 14, 15, 16, 13, 11, and these were highly powerful people. Media, banking, politics, all that kind of crap, industry, got involved in this shit in the 80s. And it got pretty bad because, Johnny Gosh was thrown into that garbage, thrown in that meat grinder, and he got hurt pretty bad, physically, mentally, and morally. And his dad was involved in it, and because Paul. He was the one that helped kidnap him because he admitted that John Gosh's dad was involved in this shit, and he had some members of law enforcement in Iowa involved in it too, and all that other bullshit, because you can still be part of law enforcement and still be involved in that sick shit, man. Like, there was 56 to 60 officers arrested for child pornography. Nearly 60 were arrested and charged with child pornography. You know, and it is a sick, sick thing. Disgusting, man. That's that's someone's kids. That's someone's baby, man. That is someone's child, man. You know, and it's the reason why the media won't do it, because in their minds, if they do it, they could lose their job, they could lose their credibility, they could lose a lot. Shareholders would just sell off their shares in the network, go somewhere else, because some of them may be involved in that shit, but don't want to get named and whatnot. Um, it is fucking terrifying, dude. It is some sick fucking shit, man. Sick shit. I think that when you have these kind of sick people, um, they even hire their victims to find more people. I mean, look at the that serial killer, the guy they called the Candy Man from back in the 70s. He would torture and rape his victims. He's a guy that ran a business that his family ran as a candy company that he took over. And he was part of the military. He was in the military, and he was in Vietnam, and he violated kids even during the Vietnam War. He was a sick motherfucker, but his victims that helped him find more victims ended up killing him. Save a friend. And right now, as we speak, there's I mean, all over the world, trafficking rings are being broken up. Pedophiles are being hunted down. You know, and and the story is being told in a movie by Jim Caviezel and Mel Gibson. I mean, they are doing this. They're risking their own lives doing this. You know, I mean, you had one guy, Jeffrey Epstein. He's dead now. He didn't hang himself. And whoever said that is full of shit. That dude was taken out. He was strangled, not hung. And the media is told, he hung himself. How can you hang yourself in your cell where there's no way to hang yourself? You couldn't hang a picture or a Christmas light. It's just that this world is full of sick motherfuckers, man. You have trafficking rings and pedophile rings broken up in all over the world, from South America, Europe, Russia, France, Germany, Belgium, Switzerland, Norway, Canada, here in the States, man. But here's a real fuck up here. A murderer Anybody that kills anybody, they get a a huge sentence, life sentence, the death penalty. Um, if you're a hacker and you expose some wrongdoing, government wrongdoing, you're looking at over 100 years because you're exposing wrongdoing. Wrongdoing. But if you're a pedophile, you get a from somewhat of a lenient sentence to life with no parole or chance of parole. You know, but we need to send a message that if you're a pedophile and you're a sex trafficker of children and women, you belong behind bars for life with no chance of parole. Now, in some countries, if you're a sex trafficker, you get the death penalty. You get the death penalty in some countries. Um, you get the death penalty, and um, yeah, you're in there for good, man. Because if you're a pedophile, you are not going to last in prison. If you're a member of law enforcement and you're a pedophile, you have a shorter lifespan than anybody in that prison. Than more than what you think you do. You think you're protected, you're wrong. You know. You think the guards are going to protect you, you're wrong. A few may, but several are going to nah, or going to make sure you do solitary confinement, or going to put you in the population, because population you ain't protected. You are going to be a target of inmates that hate pedophiles, that hate men that rape women and children. You have no chance. The only way to survive if you go into in the shoe, protective custody, you know, and and of course they're gonna find a way to find you because you touched a woman and a kid. And here you got Mambla. Um, they say, well, or our thing is a orientation. No, it's not. It's mental. No, it's not. You're a pedophile. You are a pedophile. You are immorally, psychologically, emotionally, and physically hurting a child. You are hurting a child immorally, psychologically, emotionally, and physically. You are scarring this child more than what you think you are. You know, and there's a case where this guy found this 17-year-old teen molesting his kid, and he beat the fuck out of the guy, out of this guy. And his face was like a pulp. He beat this motherfucker, man, because he touched his kid. When I was younger, when I was younger, I was molested. At 5 years old, I was molested. You know, and this kid's 15 years old. This guy, kid, now he's what? I am 47. Yeah, and he's 15 years older than me. So he's about what? In his fucking um, he should be in his 60s, late 50s, early 60s and shit, or late 50s. You know, and years ago, I swore if I ever find the guy, I would whoop his ass. But I realized that I'll be no more worse than him for what he did to me. So he worth it. He's probably in prison right now doing life, no parole for touching another kid, you know. And that's why I'm very protective of my son, you know, very protective because any asshole touch my kid, touch my son, I would beat their ass. But you know, I mean, even though my son's an adult, you know, he's 24 years old. I'm still protected. I'm still protective of my son. You know, even though he's adult, you know, now, and we have in this world sick motherfuckers, man, sick people, and it's getting bad because when you hear about the Me Too movement, some of it's legit, some of it's bullshit. Um, Harvey Weinstein's doing some serious time, man. You know, some serious years and shit. You know, here he's violated actresses and shit. I mean, the guy is a sick guy. You know, Oprah, that fucking cunt. She's a good friend of his, man. But my question is this though: why is Oprah friends with this guy who violated young actresses like Gwyneth Paltrow and Angelina Jolie? You know, you have you have male actors that stood up to the guy, and um, I mean Corey Feldman. He, even though he's an asshole to a huge to a degree, but the thing is, he spoke out about pedophilia in Hollywood. I'm lucky that they didn't kill him because here he's friends with Corey Feldman. No, Corey Haim. Sorry, Corey Haim, and and it was kind of a sad thing that he died in 2010 because Corey Haim's a good actor. He is a good actor. I like the guy. I like the guy because he was a pretty good actor. You know. Lucas, Lost Boys, License to Drive. You know, I mean, he's a good actor. You know. But Corey Feldman, he spoke out on the Today Show, The View, and you know damn well that a lot of people in Hollywood were like that they're listening to this, you know. Um, seriously, listen to this, you know, and but when he did his documentary, I mean, people were they were seriously talking about it, but on the day of the viewing, it got hacked. It got hacked, so the only way you found out about it was on YouTube. They put the documentary on YouTube, and it was like 2.5, almost 3 hours. And um, so when you look at this new movie with Jim Caviezel and Mel Gibson, I tell you what, it's going to open up some fucking eyes, man. And because all over the world, you have a people from all over the world collaborating together to break up these sex these pedophile rings, these rings of child traffickers and shit. You know, all these pedophiles. You know, and you got to really pay attention to what's going on in this world because this world now very terrifying more than what you think. Um, because you know I've been a dad for 24 years. Um, very terrifying. Um, Pornhub got in a about videos of young teen girls seen on adult websites like Pornhub and shit, you know. And I mean, they're young girls. I mean, you know, there are underage because you got young actresses like Elsa Jean, Elsa, Elsa Jean, beautiful blonde gal, 23, 24 years, 25, 23 years old, can pass for 17, 18 years old, you know, and but what's terrifying, you know, you got um, girls who are younger than my niece, who just turned 18, being put through the sex trade. And that's what the movie's about. Is you got a guy in the movie? Jim Caviezel plays this guy who's goes and find these kids that are put through hell, young girls that are being put through. You would think, you know, more than what you think, you know. Gosh, no, no, Noreen Gosh, the mother of Johnny Gosh. She helps families whose kids were kidnapped, you know, kind of, you know, and support, you know, and sometimes kids don't come back. It takes decades to find them. I mean, look at the boy in the box. You know, he was it 8, 9 years old? Oh, about 6, 7 years old. He was found in the box in the 50s, mid 50s, late 50s, mid 50s, and they've been trying to find out who he is for decades until they did the genealogy testing, which is very advanced, very very advanced, and that's how they caught the Golden State Killer. I mean, he's what 75 years old and shit now. He's in prison now. Um, and so, all right, guys, this is good old grandma.